In the beginning, there was the light, and the light was life. And the life was beingness, out of which all life came. As life expanded through spheres of light and emanations of glory, life came from the higher worlds of the superluminal into the world of material form. And the great light became the essence of consciousness. That was the ancients called the soul, the essence of being and seeing and experiencing the many worlds, the many dimensions, the many lifetimes. And the garment of creation, also known as the similitude, was given the energy fields to wrap around the soul and to guide it so as to experience the many possibilities of life. For the body and the soul were given as a seed of the eternal evolution. And a great and glorious light took place in the heavens. And in the embodiment of the soul, all forms were possible. All thought forms of the divine caressed and modulated the lights into phase forms. Those who were known as the angels and archangels, the avatars and mahavatars, the master beings of light were those who were given the orders of creation. And these blessed orders and counsels of divine intelligence brought forth the prism, the capstone, the white lotus as it was called in the scriptures of the East. And out of the radiations and sparks and arrows of light, the higher worlds merged with the material worlds, and life became life. And light manifested itself through spheres of light, called the Merkaba, in the language of the prophets. The vehicle that connected this life with all worlds through the energy spiral, through the conic sections, or sacred geometries. And out of this form came the superhelix that brought the seeds of life, the DNA, the substance, biophysics, to all the material planets, through a magnificent helix that became a roadmap, that became a grid. Into myriads upon myriads of star systems, and millions upon millions of galaxies, life came forth from those that had the right vibrations of spirit, mind, and body. And in the embodiments of galaxies and wheels within wheels, in the waters of the heavens, the ancients called the Shamayim, forms of life came forth that have the supernature to think and to see and to experience as sparks of light. And all forms of evolution from the heavens into the oceans express the infinite way in the procession of the infinite. Beneath the waters of life, great cities and vast systems of creation took place, whose evidences we see in the bottoms of oceans to this day. And out of the waterways of the mind, both of the left and right, the mind of the female and the male, the synergies came forth, and a light being was born, called mankind, the Adam. And out of his and her body, a great pillar of light. explosion of the many worlds and the multidimensional self was materialized. And in this world, divine memory, divine empowerment emerged so as to create special bodies of experience for this world. As we go deep and deep and deep within our memory and expand our consciousness into a body of light, as we activate ourselves and our chakras, the energy points, the spheres of light. We soar back into time and suddenly realize that we are still one with the divine mind. And thus can look through all mirrors, all mandalas, all mosaics, and see the infinite creation at work. Thus we enter again through the mind's eye the Garden of Eden. We use our light body, and our light guides show us the way to understand the wisdom of the ancient text, the Akkadian, the Sumerian, the Babylonian, the Hebrew and the Greek. The Chinese and Tibetan, they all speak of worlds before, magnificent civilizations and cities in the mountains that were suddenly destroyed by the imbalance of nature and the misuse of science and the misuse of energy. Through the wisdom of the ancient tree of life, we find underneath the sands of Egypt still the archives that have the remnant truth of how the gates were once opened to the higher worlds. And as we experience the light, we read from the documents beneath the Sphinx of Egypt. But the pyramid is the building block, the model of the carbon atom, the stepping stone back into the worlds of light and creation, through which all worlds link and all civilizations become one. Through the ancient text, we are told body, mind, and spirit are there in the mystery of the three pyramids. And all throughout the world, all civilizations have these as centers of light and divine purpose. And now we see the shafts of light, for as we sing and activate the songs of the divine, the sacred names of God, something different takes place. The pyramids and temples become like an energy of music to the spheres. And pillars of light, and a higher language of light, and sacred geometry and pictures suddenly is there for us to see. The inner eye of vision, the ancients call the eye of Heru or Horus, the eye of balance, opens us to the many worlds of experience. And thus we see the pyramids of Egypt, China, even Japan, Peru, as but stepping stones of a cosmic schoolhouse of the universe. And with this we understand the jewel vehicle, the Merkaba, or as it was called in the East, the diamond vehicle. It comes to the sacred places. It opens the time vaults. And in the mystery of the eye, the inner vision that is opened, we spiral through worlds and dimensions. We walk upon the waterways and oceans of the deep. We see underneath the outline of ancient civilizations. We realize that through the mind's eye, our soul can walk upon the water. We are not afraid of the past, for we understand that ancient civilizations perished because love was not there. We ask now that this realization be connected with a loving experience of the divine vehicle. And as the vehicle guides us, we feel a resonance, an experience of compassion, no matter where we are, from the mountains, from Europe, to the waters and the craters of Easter Island, Napa Nui. The fire script of the ancients speaks to us. The fire script tells us that all life is in transition, and all life is in flux, and happiness is the state of mind. And now we are prepared to understand the mystery of the ancients. On Easter Island, the great statues that are mute now speak with the vision of the higher eye that watches the sky, the mouth that awaits the modulation of mantras and sacred words, the hands, they're placed like positions for mudras, the language of the body, the statues that are lying like musicians and singers in a vast orchestra of Mother Earth that will sing with the proper notation and music of the seals. We see on the horizons of time that the statues that have been mute will now sing the higher language of the heavenly voice. Through the light sparks within us, we realize the power of levitating structures upon the waters of consciousness. The energy of Tao and the energy of the light body become one. And our body spirals into other worlds. We see beneath the snowflake the magnificent designs. The leaf of the forest, the rainforest, the energy bursts of worlds within worlds, down to micro levels, the universe of microphysics. The vehicle takes us into the cosmos within the cosmos. And piercing through nanotechnology, we see the waterfalls of creation form, as it were, a great and glorious gateway about us. And the light being guides us as we are awakened to our own light bodies, cell by cell, as we are baptized with the flow of energy from the higher worlds. What dreams may come has materialized also for our soul. And suddenly our DNA, our RNA, all of the elements of our life are reprogrammed by our own consciousness. Evolution is given a new direction, and we realize through the quantum change of the quantum mind, we have a light vehicle, we have the dynamo vehicle. And the energy bursts take place in all directions. And suddenly a new body, the higher seals, spoken of by the ancients, from Tibet and India to Egypt and the Holy Land, John the Divine, speak the Divine Mother that must come. She who has awaited our soul, and she who has incubated our compassion and love is there before our eyes. Her names are many: Ima, Lakshmi, Durga, Tara. And her breath, in essence, is like a flowing pure water that creates the garment around our body. And we realize that we are in a universe of evolving forms. And through these forces of light, it is given to us the power to see the light beings. The keys of Enoch called the whole light beings who manifest in the sacred places. We realize that we are the temple of all temples, the tree of life. We are the roots of consciousness that bring together all the symbols and signs, and so we raise our hand in salutation. And the seals of glory bless us. And we realize the coming together of the Buddhahood within, the ancient word for enlightenment, and the Christhood from without, the power of divine love and revelation, like that of the master beings who write in the heavens the sacred sutras in Sanskrit, that we are the light We are the essence of light. We are the vibrations of the divine dance. The vibrations of Om. The vibrations of Aum. The vibrations of Amen combined. The threefold nature of the flowing lights we hear, the sounds within our soul. And now our mind is opened and we see the faces from other worlds and other civilizations. And we realize that our planet is a schoolhouse. Wherever we reach, even to the jungles of Chiapas, beholding the ancient cities of Palenque, they are signs to the heavens, the mountains of the Holy Land, from Mount Hermon to the jungles, and the stone pyramids of Yucatan. They are the pyramids that speak cataclysms and floods, beings of light who were here thousands of years ago. And now the time of the cosmic return has come. The myth of the eternal return, the coming of faces and bodies of light, the cosmic cultures, preparing for new worlds. The coming is before our eyes, and we prepare ourselves like Jacob in the ancient story of the Bible, with the ladder reaching up to the heavens, with the angels of light ascending and descending to see before our very eyes the light beings, the altered terrestrials of other worlds coming to be with us, to share with us, to give new meaning as the spiritual evolution and the scientific evolution come together. A great ocean of waves takes place in the morphology of other worlds, like a waterfall of wisdom and light upon this world. And suddenly we are transposed and transported to the tops of mountains in Peru, to Machu Picchu, to the sacred areas north in the mountains of Cusco. And there we see the rooms of light. There we hear the vibration of the Apu, vibration of Kontiki. The vibration of the pillars of light and the spheres of light remind us of Joseph and Jacob in Egypt. And the cities of the New World, like the cities of the Old World, bring forth the ecumenical wisdom and embrace that we are not alone in the universe. And in the places, the sacred places at the tops of mountains, we realize that we are the living capstone. It is the mandala, or the connecting point of all of the sacred places, that forges anew the wheel of light, that manifest to our cosmic counterparts that we are ready for the ascent, and their wheel within the wheel, to connect with our wheel within the mind's eye. And the master beings appear to us in the staircases once again. The signs are there. The point of contact, the hitching post to the stars are there. The star maps are open, a new cosmology, a new presence is before our eyes. As we take on the garments of cosmic citizenship, the sacred cross of the heavens of space and time begins to open. Through the myriads of light explosions that take place, we are projected through dimensions into future worlds. As we rush through space and time like future cosmonauts and astronauts, we are not afraid, for in the awe of the universe we feel the presence of the celestial ones. We see within the spark of our third eye, our mind's eye, the Rosetta Stone, the beautiful window of Schwartz, Notre Dame, or any of the great cathedrals or ashrams. And there within the sacred geometries of the sacred places of the ancient civilizations is told in the maps of the keys of Enoch. The place of contact from above and below is like a rosary of the stars that wraps itself around our head. The warping and the weaving of space and time opens our mind to other worlds we will experience as citizens of the future. For we have conquered our fear of the unknown, and we feel the presence of the brothers and sisters of light. The ancients called the order of Michael and the order of Melchizedek. The light spheres take us above all of the mountains of the worlds. Looking down, our soul, our body is filled with light, with the music of light. And we bless the world below, and we understand even the megalithic places and circles of ancient stones. As we walk upon the stones in Woodhenge and Stonehenge, the sacred places of Europe, the rings of light appear once again. As we are told in the keys of Enoch, the round numbers begin to sing. The sacred areas of the order of Melchizedek, where ancient teachings were given, harmonizes and explodes. And we are lifted up into structures, the divine Merkaba, which lead us into the higher worlds, what John the Divine called the heavenly city. And we see the capstone, or the sacred geometry, of how science and spirituality and art all come together in the unity of the human race. From Stonehenge, the eye that connects with the pyramids of Egypt, the eye that connects with the three sacred vehicles, the light body of the man, woman, and child, the higher Trinity power, the Trachea as it was known, or Shalush in the language of the prophets. Mind, body, and spirit connect, and the doorway to the heavens, to Orion, is open as one of the master gates of the Father's universe of higher consciousness. And the stars upon the myriads converge. And now we understand the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Mary, and the Pistis Sophia, the ancient texts that speak of the cosmic Christ, the work of the Divine Mother, the male and female disciples, the work of the Spirit that ennobles and gives forth the powers of that which was called in the ancient Greek the acoustikoi, the acoustic powers, the mathematikoi, the mathematical powers of sacred geometries. As we see wheels within wheels and sacred timepieces moving within our mind's eye, the sacred seals that go with the sacred calendars, with the sacred text, begin to write fire letters in sacred geometry our own path, the last chapters of the book of Revelation, a new Genesis that is being forged for work in the next dimension. The Pistis Sophia brings together Pistis, the faith, and Sophia, the wisdom, and in so doing, the compassion of rolling up the scroll of Alpha and Omega takes place. And the architecture of the human temple is forged for all people. And whether in the cosmos, the macrocosmos, or the microcosmos, beneath each leaf of the plant, there are the sacred sutras of the Divine Mother, telling us that our heaven and earth are not the only fruits on the tree of life. In understanding the waterway, that which was called in Taoism the flow of the eternal, we reclaim our place, our eternal light body, in the marriage of the male and female within us. We behold the Mother of the heavens. We behold through the energy bursts the many star systems and galaxies within her. And now the Earth Mother and the Divine Mother have come together. And the gates of life are celebrated. that which was Maria, that which was Yin, that which was the cosmic I am that I am, have come together. And the cosmic egg of rebirth, and understand the cosmic Christ, and the work of the avatars, the work of the angelic. We see our light body as the synthesis of the virgin nature that the great prophets and apostles speak of. The woman of the body, mind, and spirit combined is a sign of the threefold powers, the triple power that was there at the grave of Jesus. The tomb was opened, which is the tomb within each of us that opens. And now the spheres are in balance, and now the worlds converge, and now the fear of the unknown is no more, for we see our place in the universe, in the many dimensions of glory, and now we understand the depths, the meaning of that which is the spark of life. And the myriads of temples and consoles and heavenly rooms of whirling galaxies, we understand the cities of light of the future, and we take our place as cosmic beings with the divine family. Behold the sacred mandalas, the sacred visions of the eye. Behold the great assembly of the firstborn in the heavens, the throne room, the cathedral of the stars, the ecumenical vision, all the angels being gathered in our midst. And in this blessing, our cosmic eye begins to open, and we receive the gifts. We receive the vision to go forth. From one of the psalms. The burst of universal humanity in the heavens is upon us, and the gates of the house of many mansions are open. All grace and power to the jewel vehicle, the Merkabah that guides us. All grace and power to the names of God, the Holy Word, that preserves us and energizes us. For we are the light body of that which is, that which was, and that which shall be. We behold the light, the burst of creation, that which was there before the light, in the mystical traditions with the light body. The form out of which all forms came, both male and female. The forms of the angels and archangels, avatars and maha-avatars, as they were projected into beingness. Spheres of light came, cascaded across space, and created the many worlds, the house of many mansions. As we now soar through the heavens, as we look behind the signs, now understand the mystery of the garment of the bride. The holy Shekinah, she was called by the ancients. The vibration, the Divine Mother. The divine beingness. And we behold the mystery of the divine family in all of its glorious faces. Beings of light, who are the discrete entities working with the detailed workings of the Father's house in many mansions. And the cosmic dance begins in the fullness of the divine family that we are part of. The fullness of the gives you a vehicle, which is the capstone.
And from the heavens the capstone descends, but it brings with it the codes from the Most High, from the Infinite One.
Through the divine mind, the great symbol sent forth its arrows of light, its great light shafts as emanations,
placing the seed forms of creation from the wheels within the wheels upon the earth. And as the radiations unfold and the capstone spins, life through the helix is manifest. And the light comes forth through the helix, bringing forth the higher codes of life creation. And the seed forms go out throughout the earth. And creation is renewed.
We hear in the twinkling of the heavens the pulses of the heartbeats of stars, distant worlds. From red giants to white dwarfs, to main sequence stars, the galaxies give birth to myriads upon myriads of civilizations. And thus, in the infinite way of creation, our soul has come. An interspecies communication, an ultra-terrestrial presence is ours. For we are between the angels and the animals, a multidimensional species with the image of the divine and the song celestial. And there in the ocean depths, beneath the waters, formlessness and void, there were the seed forms of new life that were implanted. So vast was the tree of life that other species forms had light antenna and a cosmic language of light communication in the ocean depths and the waterways. And out of the higher mind was born also the image of mankind. And from both sides of the mind, the male and female currents of energy come forth. From the left, the male and scientific, and from the right, the multidimensional and the artistic. As they merge, we see the light body. Beingness and becomingness.
And as we are bathed in the light, we arrive at the activation and integration of our inner selves, the energizing of all chakra levels. And so as life is renewed, the 7 chakras of the physical body and the spiritual body become activated. And all color radiations of light come forth, and the mandala of creation resonates. It is the mandala that comes from the heart, that goes to the mind, and that resonates with the spiritual mind. For life in the creation in the Garden of Paradise allows us to breathe, allows us to feel, allows us to journey through all of our thoughts to realms of the past where we understand the wisdom of the ancients, and to the future to understand why we are here. And we are in the garden, and it is a garden of paradise, and we are at peace and at oneness. We feel the great calm. We acknowledge the great perfection of the life all around us. And now now the seeds of creation expand, and we are invited to walk into that place of the Ancient Ones.
There between the paws of the Sphinx, even the history, the capstone of the Messianic office and vision is given.
And the capstone of wisdom comes down upon the Great Pyramid, activating the higher vibrations, once again to flow with higher wisdom upon the earth. And as we journey into the depths of the pyramid, we are awakened to the knowledge that was once with Osiris, that was once with Isis, that was once with Horus, the Trinity upon the Trinity upon the Trinity.
And our eyes are open once again to the mystery of the three pyramids, symbolic of the mental, the physical, and the spiritual. The threefold nature, as it is called in the scriptures. And now as we place these sacred words within our consciousness, the sacred language that opens up the divine eye of omniscience, that we may know, truly understand that we are but one of many embodiments of the divine physical form, and yet we are in essence consciousness of light. When we use the codes, the sacred names, garments, our body is transposed into a garment of light. And behold, the jewel vehicle as the Merkaba upon the ancient pillars of Giza. The return of the capstone that opens up the vortex, the eye within the eye of Horus, that sees as space and time open.
And we remember the ancient cities that have been lost, that appear only in legends, but they are part of us, and we part of them. For we have lived in eons past, and now we are to live again in future worlds, and in realms of the infinite presence that is now. And the vehicle of the Merkaba can take us into all space-time realms. It is our journey in order to understand that which was hidden, which can now be revealed, and that which is unknown, which now be made known.
And the documents speak of beings who were once upon this world. And we see the faces of the ancients in stones.
And let us stand upon the islands of the Pacific, that of Rapa Nui, Easter Island, and let us stand with our brothers and sisters who watch for the coming changes, who are the ones that experienced the changes in the past, and now have become our guardians, who guide, so we can know what is to be our future. The statues were placed there by the ancient ones, as markers, as listening posts, as watchers. And we stand with them, and we watch with them, and we learn to swim in hyperspace, and to walk amongst the oceans and the seas. And we see our reflection within the waters of life, and we learn how to transform ourselves into the perfect vehicle of light. The perfect Trinity vehicle, which is also the garment of our glorious body of splendor. And again we have transformed ourselves to journey within the vehicles of light, with the greater hierarchy of the divine, with Michael, Gabriel, and Uriel, and many others of the East and the West, who guide us through the realms of divine life. And as we are taken into the sacred areas of the earth, we pass through the gateways of inner and outer creation. We follow their lead, first through the baptisms of the waters of life, and then into the next space-time realm of the heavens. We know why we are here. We have seen our future.
The staircase of DNA within us is forged anew, and the dual vehicle takes on new forms. The inner Christ nature and Buddha nature become one. In the activation of the wheels of color within each of the thresholds within our body, each molecule is energized, and each thought form within our mind begins to experience the parallel worlds. The Divine Mother appears to us. In the divine physics of consciousness, she, as a virgin energy, brings forth the compassion and love that is missing. O Divine Mother, we bear witness to you, regardless of your names, of Kuan Yin, or Maria, Parthenos, or Sophia. The waters of the heavens baptize us anew with the garment of light. The divine energies open our roots of consciousness and take us to the places throughout the world that form the divine matrix. There we meet with the families of light, our cosmic counterparts of the tree of life. Active once again. Upon the hands of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the mandalas speak. The sacred geometries open our vision to the higher evolution. The true purpose of unity is the sharing of the divine. Those with the B'nai Or and B'nai Elohim, the sons of light and the sons of God, bring us the scriptures that tell us that we are children of light. Our quest begins.
And the temples around us are only images of the temples within our being. And our body itself is that of the sacred space. It is the place that we are to go to find the feelings of oneness and of light. To activate ourselves, molecule by molecule, atom by atom, with the higher words and the higher vibrations that recode within us the pathway that is our light body. And the jungles of Palenque hearken to us to come, and to enter, and to join in the dance, to walk the sacred pathway, to hear the music of those who sang the songs of creation, the music of the spheres, which open the temples from within and without. We are the ones who can resonate the sounds to open the chambers of the deep, who initiate the sacred call and activate the spirit within. And the temples reveal the ancient secrets in music. They are coded both in stone, in mathematics, and in sacred sound vibrations. And as we climb the steps higher and higher into the pyramid, we are greeted by our higher overselves. And as the human self and the overself meet and are joined as one, we are anointed by the baptism of light. And this higher baptism allows us now to be initiated into the pathway that is our destiny, that will maintain the connection with our higher self. The self, the overself, and the Christed overself come together as one on top of the sacred mountains of South America. And we hear the call, which is not only that of the earth vibrations, that of audible sound, but that of inner harmonics. And with the sacred sound, the Merkaba appear and greet us. They have come to share with us, to dance the sacred dance in the cities of ancient wisdom.
We are in awe of the cities upon the roof of the world that were built by the celestial navigators, inspired by the celestial architects. As we have taken the voyage to the heights, we meet the light beings, and they greet us, and they tell us we have come to the right place. And this is the time that the temples and sacred regions of the earth are to come together in harmony and praise. This is the place where the Kala Chakra and the seventh seal will meet to open in bliss and contact. And suddenly the gates of light are opened. And such beauty and glory captures our third eye. Spatialized worlds within worlds, dimensions beyond dimensions. As we swim in hyperspace, we are taken through the other worlds. As our spirit rushes through the corridors of the heavens and other dimensions, swimming in hyperspace, reveal the beautiful Rosetta Stone of the inner mind, the temple of the inner being, the cathedral of the higher I am within my mind's eye. And thus the keys of Enoch are fulfilled. The 12 spokes that radiate into oneness refer to the 12 thrones. And they in turn refer to the capstone, the spheres of light, the rosary of the stars. And they in turn refer to the great white throne of the white race. They burst into a million different light radiations.
We see before us the sacred geometry of the unfolding mandala. And now we are on the earth, and time has come to the present, which is the place of the doorway or vortex to the reality of many worlds. As the mountains and the valleys descend and ascend, and become in oneness with the greater divine plan, we have learned the path of the divine, a pathway that shows us the importance of the stellar alignments, with the stone circles and the round numbers, which give us the perfect mathematics of creation, for all wisdom is coded in the perfect unfoldment of life, from the helix to the spiral to the circle, and we understand the knowledge of the stars. We know the ancients built Stonehenge and all the sacred areas throughout the earth in alignment with Orion and the Pleiades, and other regions of higher star intelligence. By aligning and understanding the pathway of the stars, the ancient ones coded the time of their return. They also left behind in ciphers the codes of life creation. And as we read the codes, we discover now is the time for the ancient ones to return and to give us the knowledge of the past. And we are to receive this knowledge that unlocks the book of life and unlocks the story of our creation from Alpha to Omega. And as the book is opened, we read all the pages of history, from the very beginnings of humanity, from the time of Adam to the very end of creation. And all of our names are written down in the book of life, and it unfolds and it opens to us not only the history of the past, but of how we are to go back into the stars for life eternal.
The wheels of life shall become sacred seals of Alpha and Omega. And through these sacred seals, the conceptual guides shall write new languages, new meanings. And we see also the mysteries of that book known as the Pista Sophia. As more and more of the world is uncovered, more and more of the sky is understood, and the Christ, the true Messianic Spirit, shall be upon us. As all of the teachers are brought into harmony, the scroll shall be rolled up like a chalice, and the great architecture of the heavenly temple shall be planted through our body. And in the process of opening up the third eye, the higher architecture shall guide us through the ancient languages, the Divine Mother, the Divine Father. And through the Chinese sutras, the Mother shall speak to us, and Mother Earth shall no longer cry. Thus from the east to the west, the living Mother shall speak, and shall be before our eyes. The water that gave birth to Imma, and Tara, and Parthenos, and Maria Sophia. And the explosion takes place. The Divine Mother appears in all of her various forms. As the Pista Sophia tells us, she is the Virgin of Light. She is to guide our soul from this world through all the dimensional levels to the higher worlds. We behold the sacred spiral once again reaching to the heavens, the jewel vehicle, the Virgin self coming forth, and John Divine speaks of. We behold the sacred birth, the Christ within us, the Divine Mother. We behold the spiral of the ancients, and the Mother as the Virgin that is promised by the great prophets. Behold the Mother aspect of the mind, the new mind that is put on. And thus all three are like an energy triplet of three powers. The divine from the body, mind, and spirit. The three jewel vehicles understood as the feminine vehicle of the Merkaba within us that awakens and takes possession of the sacred blueprint of ascension. And the spheres that must converge are our work and our mission, the unity of the nations, and the breath and spirit and brotherhood and sisterhood, and the celebration of the music of the spheres and the dance of future humanity. We are to be this light body in this glorious vision.
And we understand the wheels within the wheels, the Orphanian vehicles that come into our midst, and they transform us back into a glorious light body. And we see the importance of the golden moon. And we see the importance of the unfoldment of life. And now we reverse that unfoldment. We go into the greater spiral that allows us to understand the higher worlds. Our journey is from the spiritual body into the physical body. and back into an even more glorious spiritual light body, our true light essence. And we feel ourselves surrounded by the glorious presence of our brothers and sisters of all the ancient ones. And we realize that the mandala is a symbol of the universe as it unfolds, and that each petal is a new realm of life.
And now, a new form to burst forth, a new embryo of the God spark. Reactivating body, mind, and spirit. And blessedness and splendor to the unity of days and the masters of light, who burst with tears of joy and glory to those who've taken the path of the light body. In the beginning, there was the form of the light body in the heavens, from which the thought forms were emanated, and creation was contained like a chalice, and poured forth through spheres of light, and they gave birth to the Ein Sof Or, the light behind the light, and created worlds within the myriad of star systems. And from these star systems, the garment of the Divine Mother, known as the Shekinah, was poured forth. As the Spirit of God and the supreme thought forms merged and created worlds within worlds, heavens within heavens. And in the heavens, the image of the heavenly man and woman came forth as one out of the light, the Adam Kadmon, spoken of by the ancients. And in the burst of light, the light became a being known in the scriptures of the avatars, the presence of the Buddha, and in the west the B'nai Elohim, the sons of God. The heavenly image, the archetypal Adam and Eve, the office of the Christ of the 144,000 masters of light, known in the scriptures of the west and the sutras of the east, as the sons and daughters of the heavens that brought forth the divine image. Like a capstone containing the seed forms of life, like a jewel lotus sent forth its energy emanations, its spheres of light that came down out of the open-ended universe and out of the whirling heavens is the white lotus, the great white throne. With great power, wheels within wheels gave birth, carrying the seeds of life to the heavens and the earth in unity. As the capsule came down in conic sections of vibration, a divine helix came forth with the DNA, RNA, and brought through grids of light, through sacred spheres, through which the void was overcome, and space within space spoke with the divine thunderclap. The living grids of energy took on form and meaning, and sparks of light were seen in the new heavens and the new earth. And thus the worlds were created from above and below, with each water molecule as a trinity of the Godhead that was connected with the whirling galaxies and thought forms that gave meaning to the unconsciousness of birth, of death, and life after death, through the entire energy field of consciousness that was there behind creation. Behind every mini hole, there was the specieshood eternal. The infinite mind, infinite way, and infinite specieshood thus merged. Through many black holes and many white holes, worlds within worlds were created, and those who could place a way of flow upon an ocean of flux were those who were the master entities of the Adam Kadmon who came forth, revealing lost worlds and creating new worlds. And in the process of coming forth, from the depths of the sons of God, from the depths of the heavenly Elohim, in the waterways of creation, the divine image came down into the Adam, into the human creation. As a spark of light from the corpus design, the divine spark came as the Ruach, Elohim upon the waters. And out of it came the birth of the human race. The heavens were opened. And with the formation of the chakra levels, where the wheel-like molecules came the biophysics, the musical harmonics that built a body of light, the corpus design of man and woman was forged. And through the triplet of divine letters, the divine name, the Hashem of Yod-He-Vod-He, and through the brilliant lights, the sacred seed was spread out with the worlds of the heavens. Open all time doors and time gates, and be the mind of consciousness in Naparupa, for all spherical mandalas and mosaics of light, through which new worlds would be shaped as the human evolution and the higher evolution came forth. The Garden of Eden. Behold how light beings could run freely through the gardens of life. And this freedom opens up for us new forms of the tree of life. The ancient scriptures, Akkadian text and Sumerian text proclaim as the beginning of the tree of life. The heavens were forged and many worlds were created, and destroyed and passed away before the archetypal parents brought forth a generation through the roots of consciousness that could survive and manifest the truths of the divine ones. From the sacred places of the earth and the sands of Egypt, the sacred grids open through the temples of Osiris and Unas. Beneath the paws of the Sphinx, the symbol of initiation speaks of the chambers of the deep. These are the collective capstone, and these are the beings of life who create within the architecture of the pyramids and temples the footstools of God and the places for a great ascension. Of light, the standing waveforms, the energy spirals that bring forth the languages of the spheres, and through these shafts of light, the pyramids stand as a witness in body, mind, and spirit, and through the pillars of divine language, a greater dialogue came down through beams of light, to the schoolhouses of Egypt, where the ancient texts were taught. The science of the spheres was given. And the eye of Horus, with the languages of light from the higher worlds, brought forth the Homo Universalis, the universal of mankind. And thus, the templates and the stelas, cities beneath the earth, are opened. jewel vehicle appears over the sands of Giza, witnessing the finding of the hidden city of Enoch and the coming of the sons and daughters of the heavens once again to earth. As the divine hierarchy externalizes itself, light shall burst and time doors shall open, and time vaults will sing. We shall walk upon the waterways with a message of unity upon a world of flux. Cities shall be seen on outlines underneath the ocean of previous cycles of creation. The jewel vehicle shall guide us to the sacred time warps, places where the brotherhoods and sisterhoods once walked upon the face of the earth. And in the coordination of these sacred grids, we shall understand the presence of the sacred work to connect worlds and civilizations with the tree of life, with the knowledge of the spheres, with the eternal word of God as a breath of eternal rapture and presence, coding each molecule of our body as we are told in the scriptures of Easter Island, Naparuri, from physical form into the form of light. And thus we shall be quickened, and thus we shall be light beings, and thus we shall witness, like the giants of antiquities, to those who witness the coming of the star people. And the vehicle takes us over forgotten worlds, and we see the faces like musical instruments in an orchestra pit, greeting the masters of light from the heavens. The faces beckon to the star people. They open our memory to the sacred expressions of lips that are now roots of how there was once dialogue amongst the stars. Oh, may this dialogue come to our lips. Open thou my lips that my heart may proclaim thy praise. On the horizon of time, allow us to become transparent and numbered with the giants of the mind. Let us receive the power to levitate and rotate upon the waters of consciousness, to see the divination of light from the stars, to understand the midst of light in the ancient realms of the oceans and the forests. And there in the presence of meditation, we see the insights of wisdom as the time warps are open. Break open a new spirit within us of why the divine vehicle has come back to be with us as a song divine, to speak of the great marriage of male and female wedded in the light and the promise of higher worlds. Within our mind's eye, we shall see that within the blessedness of supernature, the waterfalls themselves shall open as a canopy of marriage. And through this canopy, a light being shall guide us as our spiritual guide into the higher Garden of Eden, into worlds of the future where we are baptized with a greater love, a greater wisdom for all people and all creation. A burst of light opens a new body, and up the staircase of DNA, life is forged anew. And we as the messenger shall reach forth, bringing the intensity of God's love and purpose in this world, preparing for higher worlds and the higher chakras. And there shall no longer be limitation, but we shall emerge through the eye in the infinite way in the presence of the Divine Mother who appears to us. Yes, as we are told in the Coptic text, the Mother of Jesus, the Mother known as Maria, the Mother known as Sophia shall speak as the missing part of the hidden teaching, to that was lost, but now returned. And through the compassion of she also who was known as Durga, Amaji, Lakshmi, the waters of new life shall flow within us. Like a wedding garment placed around our body, we become the bride. No matter what temple, what ashram, what church, what place of worship we are, we shall dance as the bride of the divine, for we shall be there, unifying symbol to symbol, capstone to cornerstone, foundation stone to temple. The tree of life shall speak within us. In the inner Buddha-like nature, the higher Christ nature shall emerge. Within our newly risen body, we shall greet the master beings, with the mandala, with the seal of the I Am presence. And from the roof of the world and the mountains of Tibet, the sutras speak, being the light, being the Buddha nature, the inner enlightenment. As we understand this, our bodies dance as bodies of light in the temples of India and Tibet. The divine energies open our roots of consciousness and take us to places throughout the world that form the divine matrix. There we meet with families of light, our cosmic counterparts, and the waters of creation. And once again, divine language codes come down to the glorious waterfalls of ancient languages. Palenque in Chiapas appears before our eyes. The return of the masters of light take place. There are the sacred geometries of the foliated cross. There are the sacred rooms of the echoes, the sacred mantras, the divine expressions. And there are the divine vehicle echoes of the sacred chambers, from Palenque to Uxmal, Uxmal to Chichen Itza. The sacred languages is languages of light. They tell us who we are and where we have come from and why we are here. In the palaces and academies of the ancients, the forgotten letters begin to teach the truth of the temple mysteries. And whole light beings appear as time gates revolve and the future rushes into the present. Beings of light walk up and down the staircase like Jacob's ladder of angels from the sky. The effulgence of light speaks forth, and the pyramids become great waterfalls and oceans of beingness. We have come to bring the baptism of language and music. Thus, from the depths of the earth and the deserts of Egypt and Africa to the mountaintops of the Andes and the Himalayas, we shall behold the clouds of glory. We shall behold the sparks of light. And we shall behold that they are there to represent the great mandala of the world, or blueprint of sacred places. It shall come from the heavens, spheres of light shall come. In the lost scriptures, in the cities, filled with light, the ancient work of the Apu, the ancient work of Kontiki, the ancient work of the teachers of light, shall be once again with us. From the vibration of Machu Picchu to Sacsayhuaman, the cities that cannot be seen with the normal eye, but with the spiritual eye shall be seen with light beings. And they shall grace our presence, and they shall be there upon the staircases when we are ready. And they shall be in the cities when we are ready. And like Ezekiel, who sees the bones rising from the dead, we shall see the ancient wisdom rising from the dead that our ancestors knew upon the mountaintops of the world, still higher evolutions and higher cities. And even from the hitching posts in Machu Picchu, we shall see the place symbolically for the beings and the ships of light to come forth, bringing us through the cross of space and time. We open our mind's eye and see through myriad worlds and dimensions. We soar across the heavens as we travel higher and higher. We soar through worlds of the future, like cosmonauts, spirits, who breathe in the ruach of the ancients. And suddenly our third eye becomes like a Rosetta Stone, and see within our eye a mandala, the rosary of the stars that crowns the virgin nature within us. Like the great sacred window of Chartres Cathedral, we see the sacred geometries of beingness, becomingness. We understand the mystics that spoke of oneness. The great warping and weaving of the myriad realms of space and time that converge into new worlds that come through the activation of the divine spark within us, the I am that I am, Hiya Shakia, as it was said by the prophets. New star realms open, new worlds are visualized before our eye. The spirit of the Ein Sof Or, the higher light, once again opens us to the megalithic mysteries, to finding the lost pieces of history, to connect the sons and daughters of lost races and people. We see how light beings lead us over the megalithic stones of history, across the sacred spaces of the rings and circles. Suddenly, the sacred realms open as we were told in the keys of Enoch. The order of Melchizedek manifests the light is around circles, the round mandalas, like great musical notes across the world that bring us from the earth into the heavens. The true time door and stargate are opened. Capstone reappears, who coordinates our life with those of the cosmic family. As we activate the higher work of unity between worlds, the space law of physics, and through the love and the passion of the Divine Mother, and thus the three beings we see, the three vehicles of the Trinity of Mother, Father, and Child. The higher priesthood working with beings of light, working with the divine B'nai Elohim to open up the stargates to realms beyond this world in the Master Universe. All worlds and signs thus converge. We see before our eyes the ancient Gospels of the Coptic text, all which speak of the male and female unity. Thus the wheels, the cylinders of time, turn before our eyes as brilliant wheels, through which new languages are forged, the scriptures of the future. The 5 letters of Easter Island, the pictographs, the ancient Americas, the languages of Egypt and the Orient speak of the glories of the Most High God, the return of the divine family, the living gospels that we are the light, God's spell is the light body that we put on. Thus the scriptures rolled up. The architecture of a new life appears before us as the architecture of the temple of understanding that we bring to the smallest elements of nature, from the nanospheres of the drops of particles of energy to the Earth Mother. The sutras of China speak to us. The face that is divine and compassionate within us is awakened. Maria Sophia speaks, the higher Sophia. Wisdom meets with us as grace and truth converge. It exemplifies the energy within that is now released. A burst of light takes place. The Divine Mother is Imma. It's Tara, the Divine Mother in all languages, even of the Indian nations. The Mansi begins to merge with the spheres from below and from above. A new race is created. With the jewel vehicle she appears. In the human form she appears. In the form of supernature she appears as the three women before the tomb of Jesus the Christ. In this flash of light we see that all three women as witnesses, like Mary Magdalene, witness within us the divine nectar of a higher unity. And three in all nations, in all realms and dimensions, witness the coming of higher supernature. That part of the key should be understood. That within the wheel of life, within the myriads of evolutionary forms, the world shall converge, the east and west, north and south. A greater temple is created. A newness of the spheres takes place. Great light breaks forth as the rings within rings, wheels within wheels now show us the sacred vocabulary. The work of Metatron and Melchizedek in Christ Jesus converge. Thus in the higher worlds we shall be taken into the template of the great assembly of the firstborn, into the throne room of the divine, in the higher realms of the council meetings, in the heavenly council chambers we create new worlds. In the midst of the heavenly temples we see the sacred garments of the Shekinah, the spiritual glory. We see new worlds being forged. In the heavenly Jerusalem we see the thought forms of the sacred geometries as part of that language, part of our Great Commission. Within our body temple, the holy places should be understood as a living temple in the world to come. In the name of Yah, may the chalice come forth. In the name of Alleluia, may the grail come forth. In the name of Christ Jesus, may the first supper come forth. Yah, Alleluia, I am Ein Sof. All grace and power, the jewel vehicle be upon us. And now, may the Elohim, may the Most High God, El Elyon, through the Eternal Son, through the Eternal Mother, through the Eternal Daughter, through the Eternal Child, be with us as the book of life is continued for those who have taken the path of the light body. The light body, matrix redefined. Our quest begins. the garment of sovereign light moves over the waters of life, and we see new creation. And in the heavens the image of the heavenly man and woman came forth as one out of the light. The Adam Cogno, spoken of by the ancients. Presence of the divine family, the divine mind spoke in creating many worlds. The Buddha of the East, the Christ of the West were there before. And the light that was the living light that came down out of the open-ended universe and out of the whirling heavens. Creation in oneness with the living Godhead continues through our divine seed, and new life comes forth. All forms of specieshood, from the infinite way, in the heavens above and depths of the earth, converged as a sign of light for the formation of new worlds. that contain the history of the planet, the city of Enoch, and the records before time began. And the jewel vehicle appears over forgotten sands and seashores of lost worlds. It speaks of the return of the holy ones, the sons and daughters of God. go from India to Palenque and Peru, through the sacred places, PowerPoints, and libraries of stone. We walk on the Inca Road, on the roof of the world in Peru. We know our work is to be one with the masters of lights. For this reason we have come into this life, into this incarnation. The beings of light from above and from below shall meet within our lives. We shall be the link to the divine families of the higher evolution and the human evolution. We are before shots in the window of magnificence. And the light body takes us to Ireland, Scotland, and England before the great megaliths. Light become a great temple of the heavens. Mother, as the Virgin of Light, speaks to us, awakens us, and as co-creator connects us with supernature and all worlds of light. Sacred circles together from all over the world that we have experienced to form a living mandala. The ecumenical vision of oneness soul and the body of light. The heavens burst, and the oneness is seen in all directions. Now we will understand the sacred cities of the earth, and all material worlds is but a harbinger of the garment of light. Glory to the power of the dual vehicle, all power and light to the Most High God, and the sons and daughters of light. We are one with the light body and the new genesis of the eternal.